watching this transmission. I want to welcome everybody from across the land, from New Zealand, from Auckland, New Zealand, all the way up to, across to Sydney, Australia, north to Darwin, then you're going to go right across northwest to London, England, across to Ireland, and all the way across the lake to Toronto and across to Vancouver, down to California, across to Miami, and back up to New York. You are tuned in to Trends in the Housing Market. The voice of the Commonwealth, Mike Martins, bringing you and connecting the dots right across and following the same patterns. And affordability. And where's affordability headed? Well, I think it's headed out the window. I think it's been headed out the window for many years now. So we got people tuning into the show. Thank you, everybody, for coming in into the comments. Someone was asking me that they couldn't comment on my live stream, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, oops, I was watching a replay, Mike. I'm sorry. I thought you were live. So, guys, if you want to be come on and comment or be on the show, not a problem. Just go ahead and just come on live. We're here live, and if you want to be part of the show, go ahead and add me on Skype, Mike Martins 1980 on Skype. So bringing you basically, and we're just connecting the dots. And what it's so baffling how housing, shelter, has basically dismantled, dismembered, destroyed affordability levels right across the Commonwealth. If you're in New Zealand, you know exactly what I'm talking about. How housing has played a big role. It's not this COVID. COVID is the answer to why this is all happening and why everyone's losing everything or why everyone can't afford to get to where they need to get to in life. COVID is just the little sprinkle on top. It's been happening for years. This hasn't been happening for a couple of weeks now. Affordability levels was manufactured through a fake supply and demand. And once that fake supply and demand was manufactured, they started building and making construction mandatory so these countries could compete for foreign wealthy investors. And these countries like New Zealand, Australia, the United Kingdom, Western United States, Canada, New York, Massachusetts, Illinois, those places, basically from Seattle all the way down to Tijuana, have been exporting homes. That's it. They're exporting homes. Those places. Now, America is going to become Amerifornia now. Now that, I don't know what the heck is happening there politically. They're politically unstable, and it's kind of like looking at it like in a way where it's an economic takeover in a way. Is the money going to get into the rest of America, basically, right? Is the money going to spill over from California into Texas, into Arizona, into Nevada, into all these other places? It is. Because housing migrants are changing that and changing the entire landscape of the United States of America. So we're going to go over a few things here tonight on the show. We're going to kick off Canada first. We're going to look at a few things that are happening in Canada. Canada's no same thing. Canada's basically been trying to keep this housing market on life support. Now, if you don't have first-time home buyers, you don't have an economy, period. Housing affordability is supposed to be driven by average wage earners, not people lowering wages. See, what governments need to do, they need to become more competitive, lower taxes, raise interest rates. Instead of, the governments have been dead wrong with this, and that's why the governments that are in power are basically going about it the wrong way. The right way to do things is to raise interest rate, lower taxes, and become more competitive. So if you do want international investors to come in and actually open companies or actually open something instead of buying up our real estate and leaving it empty, being competitive and actually saying, here, no tax for 5 years just to get you started, get you off the ground, and you must hire at least 50% Canadian citizens, like if you just to have an agreement so that other people get to be hired and be part of the establishment or the company or what they're doing, right? But God forbid we do any of that, you know what I'm saying? So, okay, anyways, we got Craig Cook, Ralphie here in the house. We got Scotia Boy. We got BWR. Yeah, Mike, it's the right rates get lower and lower and the prices go up. But when the rates get lower, guess what happens? Your money becomes more and more devalued. It's disgusting. It's the worst thing could ever happen economically. Instead of raising interest rates and lowering taxes, we're going the opposite way. We're raising taxes. Now, look at the infrastructure. Who's going to flip all these bills? We've been talking about this. We've been talking about this on Trends in the Housing Market for 3 years now. Who's going to flip the bills? Who's going to pay for the infrastructure when all the blue-collar workers are leaving? And the white-collar workers are working from home now, out of state. They don't work in California anymore. They work in California on the internet, but they live somewhere in Temple, Texas, because they can afford to live there. They can't afford to live in California. Yeah, so the rich are getting richer. Anna Key's here in the house from Australia. We got Owen in the house from Brampton, Ontario. And the stories he's been telling me. Run off water off your roof. Oh, there's rainwater falling off my roof in Brampton, Ontario. They're going to calculate how wide my driveway is, how much runoff I'm getting, and how much tax I have to pay to the city for rain runoff. You can't make this stuff up, people. And that's where they're getting us. Now they want to start taxing the equity in our homes in Canada. They want to tax the equity you have in your home. They're actually thinking of doing an annual thing where at the end of the year, they see how much equity you have or how much equity you've gained, and they want to tax you on that gain every year. I'm like, why? Why? How are people supposed to upgrade, or how are people supposed to retire? And that's what's happening right now. So we got Anna Key's asking, when has the government ever done anything rational? Raise interest rates, ha ha ha. That's true. I mean, again, they need to raise rates and lower taxes. They raise interest rates, this attracts more, the country becomes more attractive, right? We start exporting more, right? Things come back on track. Unfortunately, the English-speaking countries are in the business of exporting their homes to wealthy investors. That's it. Full stop. All right, let's go. We got Liberty Returns in the house. Amy Burr in the house. MC, how can they tax the equity on your home? Very simple. We made a video on that about 2 months ago, where they're going to assess the value of your home, and they're going to assess from the assessment that they make on the city. They could say your house is worth $5 billion if they want to. They could say whatever they want. So they could get the value of the house, and they could say, oh, your house went up $400,000. Congratulations. Let's put some clapping there. Congratulations. Your house went up $400,000. Now you got to pay 1% on that, so you owe us $4,000 on the equity on the house. There's nothing to it. That's what they'll do. They'll put it into law, and in Canada they'll say, "Thank God they're doing this. I'm so grateful." And then there's people looking at it like, "What are you doing? We're slaves." Anna Key in Australia just says, I just found out that Toronto gets $100 million per year in fines, let alone taxes. Yep. Yeah, Owen's looking at it and saying it's not even worth owning a house anymore. See, Owen was on the fence years ago. Should I buy? Shouldn't I buy? I said, Owen, hold off. Relax. Now, Owen, when I speak to him, he's like, thank God, Mike, I didn't buy a house. Thank God I listened to you. Because even if I bought a house and went up in value, the affordability to keep a house with property taxes, we got the COVID going around, but then we're still paying taxes are going up. Property taxes are going up. I'd rather have interest rates go up and taxes go down. So MC is saying, okay, this is pretty crazy. So what is the best investment? Yeah, MC is saying, why own a house? Then it got to a point where affordability was out of reach. Then my video started transitioning to you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. What do you do now? I mean, a house is the most important investment you'll ever make in your entire life. And I made sure that people, their cash flows were in TDS, total debt service ratios, their CGSs, everything was in line to make sure that they could afford the payments, even if there was an interest rate hike, even if there was an adjustment, even if there was a layoff, that they could afford to live and maintain. And that's what I told a lot of people when they asked me for advice, is like, try and put 50% down. They're like, 50 points. Because if the house adjusts and actually goes to the value it should be sitting at, you won't feel so bad. You'll feel bad because you lost 50% of your investments if there's a 50% adjustment on the house. but you'll still be in line with everyone else. But you put down 5-10%, forget it. You're toast. You are toast. So Ralphie has got a good point here. The best investment is your mind. You know, on Mike at the Night, we say, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. No one but ourselves could free our minds. That's from Mike at the Night. Yeah. All right, guys, let's go for a quick channel plug, and we're going to get into some big stories here. Big stories here. All right, let's do some channel plug here. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, guys, and be part of the channel. Not even 10% of the people that go on my channel subscribe. And, guys, this Mike in the Night coming up is going to be a very special one. We're talking about bail-ins, and the government now, finance minister, is discussing how do we take money from people to use it to stimulate our economy. So, bail-ins, we want your money. This Saturday on Mike in the Night, please call into the show and be part of it. Everyone's welcome to call in. And the next Saturday on Mike in the Night, don't forget this one, COVID passports. That's becoming a thing too. And a lot of countries are signing up for the... Portugal isn't. Portugal is against this whole thing. I'm a citizen, so I'm not worried. If the poop hits the fan, I just go back to my mother country, right? I don't care, right? You know what I'm saying? So don't forget to set your reminders for these shows coming up. And don't forget our Christmas special. And guys, also... This is the big one. Everyone's going to get a 10-minute plug. Mike in the Night, 2021 prediction call-ins, and this one is going to be on December 26th. We're going to have everybody call in and give their 2021 predictions, and then we're going to review it a year later. Anyways, guys, don't forget to shop Teespring. I got the Lord Humongous sweater here. Gold and silver is real money. So there it is right there, the Lord Humongous sweater. They keep putting pop-ups for other channels. There it is there. And, guys, if you haven't yet, don't forget to follow me on Facebook. I changed my my little icon there. It looks pretty cute. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook if you guys want. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Send me show tips to Instagram. It's easier on Instagram. For some reason, I don't have to go through all the red tape like Facebook to get a message. And guys, don't forget to check out Art by Dano himself. He's supported the channel. He's given me tons of artwork. Not your ordinary art. Really cool prints. Super cheap. A really good quality cardboard, really good paper, really good, and he could do commission art for you guys. Don't forget to check Art by Dano, and don't forget to use the keyword or let him know Mike in the Night for him to give you a deal that you're from Mike in the Night. Okay, guys, what is going on? Well, there's lots going on. There's too much going on. And who would have ever thought that the puzzle or that the governments since 2010 would have sold us out from under our feet? The governments would have sold us right out. And it's not just Canada. It's Australia. It's New Zealand. It's the United Kingdom. It's Western United States. And it's New York, Massachusetts, Illinois. It's basically all the states, all the blue states, basically, that are having this affordability issue. And in America right now, and I'm going to stick to my guns of what I said about America, housing is going to go 40 to 100% increase in middle America. Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, like those states are going to go nuts. Even Alabama, you're going to see how real estate go up 100% in Florida, 50% to 100% in Florida. Because now that there's a transition in power or governments or something, you're going to start to see Amerifornia. But the good news is, guys, in about 8 months from now, someone's going to start a channel kind of like this. They're going to be talking about this in 8 months from now when they start their channel. And they're going to get millions and millions of views. And they're going to be post-dicting this. And they're going to be the heroes of the world. The heroes. Yeah. So let's hear it for the YouTube channel that's going to start in 8 months and get 2 million subscribers in a year. That's going to talk about what we've been talking about for 4, 5, 6, 7 years. Yeah. Good for you, YouTube channel that's going to start in 7 months. MC is saying so many people losing their homes. All right, let's get into some of the articles here. Let's go to articles. So nothing new in Canada. Same old, same old. Canadian mortgage debt is growing at the fastest rate since 2018. So here it is. Now, 2018, So what? It'll be 2018. Why did it grow so much? FOMO. Fear of missing out kicked in. They lowered rates and they adjusted first-time home buyers. Good old government. Let's get. Thank you. That's the federal government. So mortgage debt is growing at the fastest rates since 2018. But why, Mike? Well, there's so many things put in place. Canadians owe $1.7 trillion in mortgage debt. Remember, 80%, some Americans argue that 85% of Canada's economy is built off of housing. I believe it's about 77% in Australia, and I believe that it's about 61% in the UK. But Canada's one of the highest, 80 to 85 points of Canada's economy is housing. And the people that live in Canada can't afford to buy their housing. So it's like, housing is the big deal here. Housing is everything here. Housing is our economy, but none of us can get into it. Someone needs to educate me on this, how this works. See, I don't have too much I can't have a grade 7 reading level. Someone's going to have to tell me what the heck is going on here. So here it is. Canadians owe $1.7 trillion in mortgage debt. The balance of mortgage credit reached another all-time high. The balance hit $1.171 trillion in September, up 0.89% from the month before. The increase represents a rise of 5.67% when compared to the same month last year. It's a record high during a pandemic, but record balance is hardly surprising anymore. What's surprising is the rate of growth. Look at that. This is in billions. That's what is it? 1.8, 1.7. Well, I'm thinking 1.8 billion. Holy crap. So this is household debt. This isn't the government, right? The government's for Mike in the Night. That's a different story. When they come take your money from your bank account because they foolishly spent your money and sold your country out to somebody else. Mortgage debt sees high growth since 2018. The annual rate of growth abruptly changed direction and is now a record high. 5.67% increase from 12 months ago. The highest growth since March 2018 is somewhat surprising since growth has been decelerating since May. It's going in the total opposite direction at this point. Canadian outstanding mortgage credit change. So there it is right there. Higher growth prints are expected near term. This is not good. So it goes into the annualized short-term trend shows this rate is expected to push higher. 3 months annualized rate for the growth reached 7% in September, up 4.93% from last year. This is short-term acceleration. So guys, this is really not good. Okay, 2018, they needed a good kick in the pants. They needed to lower interest rates. They needed first-time home buyers loan. They needed more people coming in with money from China. They needed big money. People are like, Mike, why is it China? Who in their right mind, living in Italy, okay, is going to sell their home for 100,000, 200,000 euros and move to Vancouver and put a down payment on an $800,000 condo? And they're living somewhere in Italy and they have a more tranquil life. It's not the Italians. It's not the Portuguese. It's not the Russians. You know what I'm saying? Who needs to get their money out of their country if you're wealthy? I rest my case. Anyways. Okay, Amy Burr, is there a channel or a website? U.S. citizen, ward of government, American citizen, private equals not. Okay, so we got all kinds of stuff going here through the comments section. So we got Liberty Returns in the house. So MC saying Italy so much off it has been flooded. Liberty Returns. Somebody's just commenting here. People have discussions. I was watching a live stream today from another channel, just checking out what they're doing, and nobody's talking to each other in the comments. We talk to each other here all the time. Nobody's talking to each other in the comments. They're just, haha. Oh, look at his hair. Haha. What does he mean by that? Like, here everyone's talking to each other. Either they're talking to me, which I reply, or they're talking here in the comments. So you could get insured variable mortgage rates at sub 1% now. There you go. Free money. Well, it just devalues what you got. Let's move along here. Canadian mortgages arrears hit the highest level since 2017, even with pandemic measures. Again, here it is. Canadian residential arrears rise 12 points even with payments. The CBA's national arrears rate shows a steady increase even during the pandemic. The rate hit 0.26% in May, up 12.63% from the same month last year. This is the highest level since April 2017. So there it is here. This is Canadian mortgage arrears rate. Canadian mortgage arrears rates at the 10 largest CBA member banks. So there it is. You see it spiking up right here. Overall, the rate remains relatively low. However, the sharp increase combined with government support makes it unusual. So we're going through these unusual phenomena, right? Because we haven't historically lowered rates as long as we have for as much time as we have for how long we have and how low that it's at. And that's dangerous. Severely dangerous. We don't have an economy anymore. What's our economy? What? Housing that locals can't afford to buy. Hey, man, I'm from Canada, and we're known to build housing that we can't afford to buy. And we basically live, in couch surf, and a lot of us are homeless while we sell off our country to rich investors. That's what Canada is now. Well, what? 80 Americans are saying 85% of our economy is backed by housing. Our economy is underpinned by housing. That's dangerous. So we got Blunt News, guys. Don't forget to check out his channel. We're going to get him on the channel this Saturday, Blunt News on Mike in the Night. We're going to be talking about that Finance Minister of Canada stating, we need to stimulate the economy. How are we going to get money from people's accounts? Or how are we going to get people that have money to pay to stimulate the Canadian economy? So they're going to be taking away money. They've taken away our housing. They've taken away just our base. Everything is just being taken away one piece by piece. So we're going to have Blunt News come on, talk about that. He did a stream on that, actually, believe it or not, a few days ago on his channel. So Blunt, if you want to leave a link for that, I can leave a link for people to check that out. I think it was you and Sean did a good job on that. I watched the stream. You guys did a really good job. So if you want to leave a stream, I'll let people go over there after and check it out. Canada's big banks have 69,000 mortgages left on payment deferral. So here it is. Mortgage payment deferrals. Over 69,000 mortgages at the Big Six are on payment deferrals. Filings from Canada, Big Six banks show most people have now resumed payments. There were 69,900 mortgages on payment deferrals in October 31st, 2020, down 86.3% from the previous quarter in total. The value of these mortgages still on payment deferral comes at $19.9 billion. This is down 85.39% from the previous quarter. The drop in the number of mortgages is similar to the decline in value. This may indicate no particular segment of transitioning faster. So there it is. There's RBC. So you could tell who wrote bad and good mortgages. So RBC, look at RBC. I would say RBC has a lot of bad mortgages on. This is just my opinion. Have a lot of bad mortgages because if they have this many in deferrals, then a lot of people weren't calculating, or the lenders weren't calculating proper cash flows to see what people qualified for. And if one person lost a job in let's say in a couple, and one lost the job, could that one person carry the mortgage and stuff? So you're looking at this, and I think BMO and NBC are the two banks, especially because they have the lowest right now still on deferral payments, means that they probably picked or cherry-picked some of the better clients that have a very steady employment, or a good employment, or good savings, or some good source of income, right? So there's the value of Canadian mortgage deferrals among, again, RBC's number one, and then NBC and BNS, Bank of Nova Scotia, at the bottom. So yeah, they have more on their books, but how much of it's junk, right? How much junk is out there, right? If declines aren't important, what's the takeaway? The expiration of the mortgage payment deferrals aren't as important as the number of people that don't transition smoothly. So far, banks have seen about 2% of expired deferrals turn delinquent. Whether these turn problematic remains to be seen. Risk firms have stated they don't expect issue to appear until next year. However, the banks are expecting defaults to rise next year. So we'll keep our finger on the pulse there. And Vancouver real estate prices diverge as detached homes soars while condos plummet. Again, condos again, condos again, condos. We're going back to that lady on Instagram saying, but the media told me that housing, that condos were a great investment. No. You see, if you go back to 1984, condos were, I'm moving out of my parents' house, I'm just going to go find an apartment, pay a couple of $100 a month until I could afford a down payment for a house. That's what an apartment was. It was just a step to get you. Now, it's all primary. Everything is primary residence, raising families. It's everything because it is cheaper. It is like what you would call cheaper product. It's a cheaper product on the market, right? The most expensive is detached home, private land, freehold. That is the king of properties to live the American dream. It starts at the bottom where basically you're renting or renting a unit. Then you move up to a 1-bedroom condo and then upgrade to a 2-bedroom and then eventually get a semi-detached townhome. Then from a townhome, you finally get into a detached property. But going up the property ladder has been really tough, especially if you owned a condo and you bought. If you bought a condo at the wrong time, you're going to have a tough time flipping those in the big cities because there's just too much inventory. There's an oversupply of inventory. So here it is. It's plummeting. So here it is. There's condos, condo apartments. Look where they are right here. They're having a tough time unloading them. These are detached. Detached is always going to go up. Well, not forever. Not forever. $1.5 million for a detached. Where the hell is this? In Vancouver. $1.5 million for the benchmark detached. $1.5 million. If I show you what a $1.5 million house is in Vancouver, you'll have a heart attack. It's going to need a full remodel. It needs to be torn down and rebuilt because the house is probably over 100 years old. I'm not making this stuff up. And that's 1.1 million US. You know what you could buy with 1.1 million? You could buy Shaquille O'Neal's house for that much. But you could buy a teardown in Vancouver. And people think this is normal. Oh, Mike, it's location. Hey, I lived in Miami. I know what it's about. I lived in Vancouver. I know what it's about too. So here it is. We got Linny Poo in the house. We got Matthew from Australia, from Melbourne, Australia. Cressy Shredders in the house. Don't worry, financial collapse will not occur until the natural world collapse, but we're getting close though. Raven says never trusted XRP. But Brad, I don't know what he's talking about there. Yes, the governments are killing our beautiful nation. It's really sad. If people knew how Canada was back in the early 80s, that's why a lot of Europeans are heading for the door, especially the ones that have nothing. They've worked their whole lives here and they have nothing to show for it. A lot of them are just going to go back to Europe and say, I'd rather die happy and be with family and be with my original mother tongue, my original family, my original this, and just die happy. At least you die happy instead of dying broke in Canada. You know what I'm saying? So here's the composite price change. So if you look at the tail end of this right here, you could see, let me go to article scan so you can see that a little bit better. Take a look at this here. You can see that condos and composite and condos right here are going down. Right there. There you go. But you look at detached, it's going up. So people are trying to unload their condos because they're on the property ladder. Yay! I paid a real estate agent, a broker. I paid all these people in fines like 40 grand, and now I'm in a condo for 1 bedroom for 600 grand. Woo! And then now I can't sell it, so I can buy my detached. Look at that. Look at that. Vancouver reported condo benchmark $676,000. That's $500,000 US. All right. So now this is an interesting one from Remax, from Organized Real Estate. Toronto real estate supply. Remax executive doubts vacant home tax will help. So there's a lot of vacant home tax out there. They're trying to fix this. We covered this last week on trends in the housing market, the vacant home tax. And Canada's government is trying to save the day like Mighty Mouse, coming in. Mr. Trouble likes to hang around. And then here he comes to save the day. And the government isn't going to save anything. Foreign buyers tax. They needed to get it to 5, 6, 7% of the house value on a yearly basis. And then this way, it would force these empty units to surface and find out if these people are alive that own these properties. There's just so many empty homes littered across Canada. The locals are bought out of their own cities. People born and raised in their own cities and educated can't even get. And people with degrees are having a tough time. You're going to start to see in 2021 more and more homeless people with degrees. Watch me. Watch. I hope I'm wrong, but watch. So now let me show you guys. They're talking about foreign home tax. So here's a video that I made 4 years ago. 15% tax on foreign buyers. Vancouver homes. So they're trying to put a foreign buyers tax on again and adjust it, and a vacant home tax. But watch this. Watch this. So this is from 4 years ago. Okay? Now watch this. Let's scrap the foreign buyers tax because it's working. It started working. Prices, if you watch this video, you'll see prices were going down. Prices were adjusting. People were starting to get back into the market. And once they got rid of the foreign buyers tax a year after it was implemented, they got rid of it because it was working. And that basically destroyed affordability levels, and the province was going bankrupt. So they had to put down, abolishing the foreign buyers tax because it's working. This is my opinion from 3 years ago. This will bring more dark shadow money laundering business into the big western cities from Vancouver to Sydney. The middle class will be abolished by 2021. So this is something I put up 3 years ago and discussed. And then 4 years ago, watch this. The percentage of Metro Vancouver home sales that involve foreign buyers has plunged in August following the provincial government levying 15% property transfer tax on transactions that involve foreign investors. And it was working 4 years ago. It could have been the greatest thing ever. And I am offline. I'm going back online. I am back offline. I am offline again. It might disconnect me, guys. I'm not sure why. Let me see if maybe my Wi-Fi is on. I don't know. And what scares me is this internet's not free, my friends. This internet, a couple of $100 a month for internet. This is Canada. So there it is right there, guys. So watch this, and then I have another one here. Ontario ready to scrap the foreign buyers tax from 2 years ago. So there it is. I mean, this is what's been happening. Oh, look at this one. Home price data gone, foreign buyers tax working, foreign investors. So foreign investors worry something fishy is going on. Hallelujah, the tax works. The verdict is in. BC foreign buyers tax really did pull down Vancouver's home prices. And then they had to get rid of the foreign buyers tax because, well, they have it, but they had to find loopholes around it. Because these provinces would go bankrupt because rich people aren't coming in and buying our homes anymore. Then when they have to back the average wage earners to a house, average wage earners don't make enough to own properties anymore. It's only for super rich people. And in 5 years, they're going to be brainwashing people and telling them that only rich people could afford vehicles. And then in 10 years from now, they're going to be saying that, no, you're going to be living in a locker in 10 years for your carbon footprint. So I kind of wanted to break down those shows and kind of show you guys. Blunt News says, how's about no foreign buyers? No, that's the problem. The problem is that's our economy. We're exporting homes. That's why during COVID, construction on condos that Canadians can't afford to buy was essential business. Because if Canadians can't buy it, it's only for foreign investors, right? So here it is in the United States. Student loan forbearance is extended through January 2021, but you should be planning for the future. So a lot of Americans bought into that whole student loan fiasco thing and thinking that a higher level education will get them a better job. Well, a lot of these people aren't finding jobs when they graduate, and they're stuck with $60,000 to $100,000 in student loan debt. And there it is right there. Federal student loan borrowers who are worried about payments resuming January can relax for the time being. Last week, U.S. Secretary of Education Betsy announced that the extension of the federal student loan administrative forbearance period through January 31st, 2021. So we'll follow this once that unfreezes. Why struggling homeowners need to know before the end of this year. So here it is as the economic effects of COVID again drag on. Some protections and benefits of COVID aid relief. So ban foreclosure extended. So there's a ban on foreclosure extended. So mortgage relief for many homeowners. It is not too late to request a mortgage forbearance. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and in my opinion, it was to get the administration, the presidential administration that was in power out. That's what it was all for. And it's destroying a lot of everything. More details on $908 billion stimulus plan released, 300 unemployment, student loans forbearance, but still no second stimulus check. So there it is. A lot of stocks. I don't know if you guys took a gander at the stock market. Things were going down. I sold a lot of my stock this morning when I saw it going red. Probably buy it back next week if they announce a second check. And I'm just following the trends. That's how you make money. Just follow what you think they should be telling you, or go against the quo. All right. This one here. Guys, I'm going to stick to my guns. Remember, North Texas home sales surged in November. They're 13% up from 2019 levels, and there was no COVID in 2019. And I'm going to stick to my guns on this video right here. I did that American housing to increase 40 to 100% in price by 2021. Let me correct myself, not in the blue states, in the red states, they're going to go up. So Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, Louisiana, Florida, Georgia, you're going to see housing go up 40 to 100% because of the affordability levels and the housing migrants leaving those major cities. So I'm going to stick to my guns on this. This video has no views, but the good news is in 7 months from now, somebody is going to make a channel and they're going to discuss all this stuff as if they are predicting it and making themselves look like heroes. So wait around for 7 months. There's going to be a new YouTube channel. I don't know who's going to make it, but they're going to make one. They're going to get 1 million subscribers, and they're going to look like the big heroes. So Robbie is saying our net worth just shot up to $300,000, over $250,000 just for holding a house in 10 months. But I don't feel rich. It's just paper. Even if we sell now, we still have to rebuy at a higher crazy rate, Ponzi. Unless, Ralphie, you take that money and you take it to Miami Beach. And you could, $300K, you could just take your equity, just the equity in there, and you could buy something decent in West Palm Beach. Done. Paid for. Just the equity. Never mind the price of the house. The equity. In 10 months. Why 60,000 Californians left for Arizona in 2019, and why Phoenix wants even more. Okay, so this is what's happening. We had, the gentleman on the show from Arizona, from Phoenix, Arizona. Sorry, from outside of Phoenix, Arizona. Where is he? El Capitan Morgan. Where's Captain Morgan? Where is Capitan Morgan? I don't see no Capitan Morgan here. Let me see if I could find him here. Captain Morgan lives in just outside of Phoenix in Arizona, and he makes I'm getting a lot of people trying to add me to Skype. There's a lot of fake accounts here trying to I don't know who is who here, but there's a lot of accounts. Anyways, so here it is. It's basically going to change It's just going to change the landscape of the country, especially when Californians go in and start voting a different way. 650,000 people left California last year. That is a lot of people. A lot of them left. The main reason they left California is the cost of living, 57%. The second main reason is the cost of housing, 48%. So you could just put that in one, because that's what the main reason is. The two. High taxes, 41%. I totally forgot on that. Traffic congestion, 20%. And state and local leadership, 20%. So the problem is the cost of living. And I think you're going to see America turn into Amerifornia, right? And I think that's going to be a major issue, in my opinion. And it's going to take away what's left for affordability, and productive states are going to fall into this spiral death trap. And we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening here. Eviction looms for struggling U.S. renters as stimulus talks drag. So, again, they're waiting for this next check. And the amount of Americans, young middle-class Americans and students that are on the chopping block is absolutely phenomenal. There is also a potential public health impact if people are evicted and forced to live in the crowded homeless shelters or on the streets. So, like, all these people are going to be, like, I mean, yep. Modeling by researchers of the University of Pennsylvania projects that across scenarios, evictions lead to significant increase in infections. Now, you saw what happened in California streets on some of those skid rows. They were getting typhoid and all kinds of weird medieval illnesses on the street. Valley housing market to remain one of the nation's hottest in 2021, report shows. So Phoenix area is set to see a surge in home sales in 2021. And I'm telling you guys, middle America, the middle part of America I'm talking about, is going to see a 40 or 50% to 100% increase in housing. Watch. We've been watching this across the Commonwealth. Now it's headed for America. We're looking at Amerifornia, because America will become like Canada soon. Amerifornia. Rising home prices and eviction risk. Biden faces a tough task of fixing the housing crisis. So the media elect presidents that was I guess announced by the media. So here it is. It's on his lap. See if there's anything. Wow. Graph shows the median sales of U.S. houses since the early 1960s. Wow. All right, let's move on here. All right, let's go over to England real quick here. Looking at Australia's housing prices, you could be forgiven for wondering what recession. Again, Australia is pushing hard. Here it is here, 0.8%, September 2020. Housing is up again. And again, they need more foreign money. They need to get back on track with China. They gotta beg Australians to take a knee to China and beg them and allow them to take the tariffs, that all these Chinese tariffs that are on Australia. They should take a knee and beg and apologize to their masters for what they have done. Australia basically is in the same boat with Canada and UK and parts of the US by basically flooding their countries with wealthy investors and crippling. So Blunt News is saying, isn't this something? I just bought the most anticipated game of 2020, and instead of checking it out, I'm here. Thanks, Blunt News. Blunt News says, Mike Martin's show is the best thing online. Yes, haha, Blunt. Yes, spot on. Mike Martin's is the only one of like 4 channels I watch on YouTube, and I use ad blockers, so no ads. Woo! No problem, guys. The problem with this, guys, is they're going to have to, these governments are going to want money. And they're going to be coming after us for it. They're not going to be coming after the foreign investors. They're going to try and do vacant home tax. But people are like, well, isn't this going to stop foreign investors from coming in and buying up their country? Well, no. I would pay the vacant home tax. I would pay the foreign buyer's tax if I had money in China and I needed to get my money the hell out of China, and I had billions of dollars, I would gladly pay those than pay a loan shark or pay the mafia. I would rather pay these fees and know that my money is sitting there and my property's there and it's sitting in properties, the property's empty. That's what a lot of people do, right? So that's what's happened. It's like saying, well, the Chinese are in this predicament where, I mean, they're damned if they do and they're damned if they don't, right? So capital flows out of China. What are they going to do? Like, they're finding loopholes to get their money out. A lot of them are doing it through Bitcoin and other forms to get their forms and through casinos and ways to get their money out. This is the only way the West could survive, is by exporting homes. Steve Saretsky was on the show, 5 weeks ago, and he said, Canada exports homes. Australia exports homes. It's an exporting business. We don't export our homes, but people come and buy them for us and leave them empty. Anyways. So there it is. Looking for Australia. So you look at it and you wonder where residential house prices annual growth, Australian house prices and housing finance annual growth. So here it is. There's the housing finance going up. House prices are pretty stagnant right here, but house financing is going up. And there's house financing. Perth. Look at Perth. Look at Perth house financing. Perth is in Western Australia. Look at that. And then you got Melbourne. Melbourne's taking a little bit of a rebound. Established houses and apartments price growth. So you got a little bit of downage here, but you got East Adelaide, East Brisbane, East Perth, East Sydney, and these are the hottest places. And then you got East Melbourne here, that's down, and that's obviously in the state of Victoria where you're seeing the mass exodus, right? So here is the breakdown of household assets by net worth. This is from a Quintile 2017. So these are the financial assets, other non-financial assets, other property, and owner-occupied dwellings. So in Australia, your house there is considered as like an investment, even though you live in it in your owner-occupied. Wow. So there it is right there. GFC home builder boost. There it is there in 2010. And look at it right here. Construction, number of new loans for construction dwellings right there. Look at that. Holy crap. So Australia is going to get off its keister and start getting more money into its shores. They're going to have to find a way to start getting more money, or they're going to have to go into negative rates where people basically get rewarded for borrowing and savers get punished for saving. That's the only way Australia is going to get themselves out of this. Wow. 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 Look at that. Wow. Australia's housing insanity. As mandatory super contributions have risen, home ownership has fallen, but an affordable Australian dream also requires removing planning and approval restrictions to make houses among the world's most expensive. Again, there's lots of red tape, so you got to go through a lot of government red tape when you want to build a house or do something, but that's to benefit the builders, because the builders never pass on the savings to the primary or the owners or the people that buy these units, right? House prices surge in Australia, Australian capital cities, driven by aggressive government stimulus. So there it is. Capital city surge. There it is. Perth, 8 to 12 points. Sydney, 7 to 11%. These are price rises. This is price rises for 2021 base case. So 8 to 12% in Perth, 7 to 11% in Sydney. And people are saying, Mike, but you're saying 50 to 100% in Texas. How the hell are you going to figure that out? Housing go up that high. Housing is going up in Sydney. This is what they're forecasting. 7 to 11%, hear me out, on a house that's already $1.82 million. So when a house in Texas goes from $200,000 to $400,000, that doesn't seem too bad. That's a 100% increase, but that doesn't seem too bad. But when you have a house in Sydney for $2 million for a piece of crap, and it's going 7 to 11%, that's a lot of cake. That's more than a 100% increase in Texas. So when I'm saying I'm sticking to my guns, you're going to see middle America, or the middle part of America, go up like no one's business. Record high prices in smaller capital cities. There it is. There it is. Look at Darwin. Look at Hobart, up 1.4%. Boosting property at any cost. That's all they're going to do. First-time home buyers driven by FOMO. Again, FOMO. Fear of missing out. People are still getting pushed into that. You'll never own anything if you don't buy anything. Yes, I'm happy. Okay, Australian house prices on track to surpass pre-COVID levels in 2021. There you go. There you go. So there's mass unemployment, mass evictions, mass exodus out of the major Australian cities, but housing is still on its way to record numbers. Yes, 1.1 million Aussies are planning to sell their homes soon. So again, who's going to buy these homes if the locals can't even afford to get into their own market? Who's going to buy these homes? Who's going to purchase these homes? You're going to have a massive oversupply. We did cover this last week. I wanted to bring it up again. It's very important, okay? And then, New Zealand housing market is insane for buyers. Realtors say their job is to get the best price. So that's what their job is. Buyer beware, the urge of those looking for a home to do their homework first. Guys, do your homework. Make sure you can afford. Look, in the last 3 years, residential property prices in the region have ballooned 51.4% in the last 3 years. From, listen to this, $518,000 to $785,000. There's no other return you can get on anything you invest in unless you bought Bitcoin at $1 back in the day and sold it for 20 grand. But I'm saying, wow. This is the benchmark now. Average price in the New Zealand major cities, you're looking at $1 million. And here it is. New Zealand property market running red hot and prices set to keep rising. So who's buying these properties? Well, New Zealand should prepare for at least another year of rapidly rising house prices as market runs red hot. Thanks to the ultra-low interest rates, a rapid recovery from COVID. Well, Trump is no longer, isn't the president, so there's the relief from COVID. They're not going to require mail-in ballots. Everything's good to go, and COVID's gone. So let's get these housing less and less affordable for the locals, and that's what's going to happen. So Ralphie has a very good question to ask. Mike, question. Is housing just like a mech economy? For example, McDonald's opened in 1955 with burgers at 15 cents. Now a burger is like, what, $8? Is this pricing all relevant? Well, McDonald's is a really bad example. McDonald's, owning a McDonald's chain or owning a McDonald's franchise or owning a McDonald's is you're in the real estate business. McDonald's isn't in it for the restaurant business. They're a real estate business. A lot of people don't know that. But I actually learned that in school, and I'm like, what? So when people open the McDonald's, they're not opening it. No, McDonald's is a real estate business. They buy their properties, they hold them, and then they sell them at the right time and relocate the location and get something else and start driving up the prices. That's what McDonald's is. McDonald's is a real estate company. I mean, opening a McDonald's is to be in real estate. That's what it's for. It's not about getting into the restaurant business. I know this sounds so bizarre, but if you look into the economics of it, and if you look at McDonald's, it's about it's about real estate. It always has been. McDonald's is a great idea. Go in, drive. Back in the days, they had the drive-ins and stuff. You would drive in, get your burgers. Some girl in roller skates will bring them out and stuff. It was all about real estate. Okay, let's move on. So New Zealand is fried. New Zealand reimposes lending curbs over housing bubble fears. Property prices rise 20% in the worst recession since the Second World War. I really feel for people living in New Zealand. I really do. The country's changed into a nation of renters. The average person, the average person being born today in New Zealand is already on the losing end. They've already lost. Basically, they entered this world, but they're losing 3-0 in a soccer match. They're already losing 3-0, and the match hasn't even started. That's how bad it is. You don't even have a running chance anymore. Craig Cook said he sent me an article. Let me see if I see it here. I read that one, Craig, he sent me last time. We took a look at it. By the way, Craig is gonna work. I'm gonna get Craig and Ralphie to make an intro song for Mike in the Night. It's got to be your own music though. I'll put it on the channel to see if it gets any flags, and then once it clears, I'll use it for a Mike in the Night intro, if it's okay with you guys. If you guys want to make a Mike in the Night intro song, even a trends in the housing market. These guys are great. I got a clip from Ralphie and from Craig Cook. They're both in the comments right now. The music is just wow. I got a clip of it. I was like, whoa, these guys are really good. Here, let me see if I can play something for you guys, because I'm getting way too serious in this tonight's show. It's getting way too serious. Let's see if this thing plays.
Hey, Mike. I'm glad.
Nope, that's a message. What happened to the music? Okay.
Glad you like that, buddy.
No, I liked it. Where's the song he sent me? Where is it? It's not even here. It disappeared, my friends. Ah, here it is. There it is right there. Craig Cook. There's our man Craig Cook right here.
Train, coming down the line.
This guy's good.
I said train, coming down the line.
This guy's really good. So if they could do, there's Ralphie right there and all his girlfriends. If you guys could make a Mike in the Night intro, I would be very, very, very. This is Ralphie's. Guys, I'll give you the upcoming gigs here. There it is right there. Give you the upcoming gigs here on the Ralphie website there. So anyways, let's get back to this real quick. England's cladding crisis creates 2 million mortgage prisoners. 2 million mortgage prisoners. And they're all in these condos. Just the amount of mortgage prisoners that England is facing right now is absolutely phenomenal. Australia's in a mortgage prison right now. Everybody's in this mortgage prison right now. All right. New homes in England statistics show that overall housing starts down, reflecting the impact of COVID on house building. Again, they're playing in England the supply and demand. England's been playing the supply and demand for years, and it's starting to smell like bad fish. The government cannot build its way out of England's housing crisis. Thank you. Thank you. The government cannot build its way out of England's housing. Thank you. The supply and demand garbage. Start looking at the 100,000 empty units they have in London and start doing something about it. At least get some revenue off it for being vacant, 6-7% tax, and then start reimbursing it to create housing for other people that actually need housing. UK housing continues to roar, but uncertainty clouds 2021. And market lockdown 2 is affecting the housing market. The problem is in California, they might get the 3rd, 4th, 5th wave in California. Waves. You know, there's a lot of surfing in California. Lots of waves. So, England's cladding crisis creates 2 million. We got that already. So, I kind of wanted to throw that out there. So, there it is, guys. I wanted to do that. Let's see if we can get someone to call in. I want to go over all the news. It's our first, we're in our first hour now. So, look at this. You type in New Zealand, watch this. So, oh, Mike, this is all happening now. And don't worry. In 7 months from now, someone will create a YouTube channel similar kind of to what I'm talking about and talk about the stuff I talked about years ago and make it seem like it's relevant for today's time and become a hero. That's how YouTube works. New Zealand poverty crisis 1 year ago, before COVID. New Zealand housing prices set to double, madness. New Zealand housing market severely unaffordable 10 months ago. Is it COVID? I don't think so. New Zealand house prices flat 1 year ago. And then this one, 2 years ago, New Zealand housing, do not buy anything. Why? Look where we are today. And if people bought and gained all this equity and they couldn't afford to keep it and they were eating off their equity and using their homes as ATM machines, that's usually the case. Housing deception New Zealand, 1 year ago before COVID. Housing crisis New Zealand, you better watch this video, 3 years ago. New Zealand foreign buyer ban is working 1 year ago. Look at that guy. He's tough. New Zealand construction, housing, homeless 2 years ago. Oh, it's Craig. Yo, Craig, what's up, man?
Oh, Mikey, thanks for the plug. Hey, no, I sent you an article a couple of days ago, and it was in the Herald. And what it said was the ownership rates were declining, and they were the worst ownership rates since 1951.
Okay, let me go back into the chat and see where it is.
It's in your Skype.
I got it right here. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah, it's just above my thing. So,
Property prices, home ownership in New Zealand drops to the lowest level since 1951. Home ownership in New Zealand continued to decline to the lowest level since 1951, with a 30-year decline hitting those of the 20s and 30s the hardest. Wow.
Yeah. So that just confirms, what we've all known. And it's just a quick call for you. But there's a couple other things I've noticed. We've had a massive increase in homeless and beggars now that we never saw.
Do you think they're busing them in from California?
What's that?
Big sarcastic. I know you're in New Zealand. But do you think they're busing in these homeless from California?
Yeah, maybe they got COVID and they flew here magically.
So where's this homeless situation? Is it in Welland? Is it in Auckland? Where is it?
Oh, it's everywhere, and it's a big problem. And I heard it. They were talking about it on the Talkback radio. Now here's a funny thing. What happened, right? Now the great leader said, "Oh well, it's COVID, so we'll put everyone in motels." So they put everyone in motels, and they put them in these really nice areas, with these $2 million homes. What in Auckland? That's like on the North Shore. And so what happened was, when the COVID finished, all these people were like, "Oh, I quite like this," so they hung around. So now all these really so-called flash areas have got a lot more homeless, to the point of, they can't let their kids go to the park, and they don't feel safe, and they're getting increased robberies and, things like this. Mm-hmm. You're seeing a lot more in places like New Plymouth. So you got Auckland, New Plymouth,
Is
Wellington.
Queen Street there, the Skid Row there?
Yeah, it is actually. It is. You had people ring up and they were talking about, it's not a place you want to go out and take your kids. It's not a place you want to go out with your mates.
Dude, if I go to New Zealand, you got to take me to Queen Street, okay?
Yeah, it's not safe. I don't go out to town.
Oh, come on. It's just Mike Martins. Leave him alone.
Oh, yeah, I'm just saying, I can remember me and my mates, we used to go out, back in the day in your 20s, and you'd have a few drinks, and it was a good time. But now with the drugs, you just don't do that.
Yeah.
You just don't do that. Hamilton, which is about an hour and a half out of Auckland, mm-hmm. When that used to be a really nice area, travelling salesmen, farmers would come in and to town or whatever, and they had a really nice bunch of motels. But after COVID, that place has gone to, it's gone to dogs. Same as Rotorua. Same, just about the whole country.
That reminds me of that area you're talking about. Used to have a lot of good farmers markets, and the hotels were buzzing. Now they've housed a lot of homeless people in those hotels.
Yeah, that's right. And so you're starting to see the the social effects, and I know, I'm pretty sure Mitch Maiden will be listening, and it's like a drive to the bottom.
I mean, you guys, affordability levels are just so out. Like, what's like? I'm not understanding. Like, okay, I know you got a lot of vacant homes, a lot of empty homes there. Now, I mean, the governments are at blame for taking a blind eye to the money laundering, right? We got an article today that was sent to me by Matthew, my friend of mine in Sydney, that they caught another money launderer in Australia. And I'm like, wow, they're actually arresting money launderers in Australia. In Canada, it doesn't exist. They're like, what are you talking about? You know, I'm surprised.
I think it depends on your last name, doesn't it?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess.
Oh,
you're
I
right.
can't say that. You get flagged. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, but Craig, in all fairness, because I know there was a lot of money being dumped in New Zealand from 2010, to about even till today. There's a lot of money, capital flows coming in.
Oh yeah, but I think it's a bit of a political thing now.
It's all politics, dude. It's your government turning a blind eye and competing for wealthy investors. That's what every other country, and people are like, Mike, you've been talking about the same thing for years. Well, if the locals that work full time can't even rent, we got a major issue here.
Yeah, we got. No, come on, settle down. It's not a van anyway. You know, it won't be a van. That'll be a 1-bedroom condo, and then if you have a tent, that'll be a open plan living. 1-bedroom apartment.
I don't know if you were watching my channel 3 years ago, but I covered a story from.
Yeah, I've been watching for a while, Mike.
3 years ago, I covered a story out of New Zealand that the for affordable housing, families were given tents.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Oh, you don't remember that one, do you? I covered a story. I gotta look it up on my. Families were given tents to sleep in by the housing minister.
I met a lot of people. You know, I spent a bit of time living on the street, and I was told that I was lucky because I had a van.
Yeah. So your van life.
Yeah, van life. You know, you use all these words like, oh, no, you're not homeless. You have an alternate lifestyle. No, I'm homeless. You know, it's like, yeah, I don't know, but I just wanted to throw that in for you.
Okay, buddy.
It's especially with the, I mean, since 1951. I mean, how I just don't understand how any of
lack of affordability level is. I think it's to own a house in New Zealand right now. It's going to take about, I think it's 18 years to save up for a down payment.
Or either that or me and Ralphie get a hit record out there.
Get a hit record. I'll promote it on Mike in the Night. Why don't you guys do an intro song for me?
Yeah, we will. I'll talk to Ralphie. And I think, I think we've got a fair chance of getting a hit record.
I'll just promote the crap out of it on the show. I don't care. I'll get people out there. Yeah.
You do. You do. You got more chance of getting a hit record than you do of buying a house in Auckland.
Buddy, you got a better chance of getting hit by lightning twice in one day than you do buying a house in Auckland.
Yeah. All right, now I'll leave you with that. I just want to put that little bit in and shout out to everyone.
Okay,
and
Craig.
Listen, I just want to shout out to Ralph. I've been, doing some work with him, and he's really good on the video stuff and the sound editing, and he's given me a lot of mentorship. And big shout out to Ralphie.
Okay,
good guy.
Craig, God bless you. Okay.
Thanks, Mike.
All right. Bye.
Bye. That
is Craig Cook. Wow. We're gonna be hearing from him on the 20th. We're gonna get him on. Everybody. Now, I'm going to plug this right now so there's no surprises here, and I don't want anyone to panic here. Okay, guys, here's the deal. There is, this Mike in the Night's kind of important. You want to kind of be part of this one because we will be talking about bail-ins. Now, banking, there's finance ministers discussing on how they could get our money. So here it is, Mike in the Night bail-ins this Saturday on Mike in the Night. If you want to be part of that show, I highly recommend that you call in. Okay. Then, if you guys, let me go back here. I'm sorry. Let me just go back here real quick. Don't forget, we got a Christmas special coming up. We got COVID passports. That's coming up. You're going to need a COVID. a Covey. You need to be updated with Covey to get a passport or to board. And I want everybody to take this, and I want everybody to set their reminders for this show right here. This is 2021 predictions on Mike in the Night. It's on December 26, 2020, 3-hour show. We're going to go off. We're going to do 20-minute news plug, and we're going to take call-ins. We're going to take 10-minute call-ins. I want everybody to discuss where is 2021 headed in their opinion, right? So there it is right there. So if you guys want to be part of these shows, please be part of the shows. Next week, Trends in the Housing Market is going to be Trends in the Housing Market Bought Out. Again, it's been happening, but the homelessness is out of control. So don't forget to set your reminders for that show. Just go on the channel and set all your reminders if you don't mind. And guys, Teespring, pick something up. Guys, don't forget to, oh man, I'm getting tons of messages here. Don't forget to follow me on, Amy Burr always sets her reminders. I'm following her on Parler. Let me get my Parler open. Guys, this is my Instagram. If you guys want to follow me on here and send me show tips, I am on Instagram. Send me show tips here. This is really good. I get the messages like it's like a pager when you guys message me. And sometimes I have to approve the person, which I always do. And then you guys could go ahead and send me your stuff here. Don't forget Art by Dano. Not your regular art. Guys, check this guy out. He supports the channel. He sent me tons of artwork. This guy's amazing, and it's super affordable. So if you're looking for something outside the box for Christmas, check out Art by Dano. And guys, let's go to Parler. I'm on Parler, guys, and I'm doing pretty well here. I get more views on here than I do on Parler. I get more views on Parler on my stuff than I do with 115,000 people on 115,000 people on Facebook. So there it is. I'm on Parler. Come and join me on Parler. So I'm following other people. I got Linny Poo I'm following on here, and I watch all the stuff she posts. I think, I'm following Amy Burrs on here in the comments. I think Ralphie's going to make an account on Parler. Ralphie, make an account on here so we could talk. Craig is get an account on here, Craig. So this way, when I go to the wall, watch this. It's like what Facebook used to be. Watch this. I go to the wall. I go to, okay, this is my profile. And then I want to go to the Parler. Here it is. Zero Hedge, Canadian Health Ministry exploring immunity passports, vaccine tracking and surveillance. That's a Mike in the Night topic. This is just the news. There's all kinds of stuff that I follow here to kind of keep in touch what's happening. But I do see Linny Poo. I don't know if she posted something today, but people are always posting on here, and I love seeing people from the channel posting their, Wayne Gretzky. $1 million? I have a Gretzky rookie card. I have several Gretzky rookie cards. Wow. I have like 3 of them. I have 2 graded ones, and I have why? Wayne Gretzky hockey card expected to, is something special about that card. I have a few of them, and I don't think they're worth $1 million. I don't think they're worth $1,000, to be honest. All kinds of cool stuff here. So, the China Files. So, check this stuff out, guys. Check out what the heck is going on. If you want to find out what's going on, go on Parler. No Parler tricks here, guys. This is the real deal. I'm going to give you guys my profile one more time. Get in there. So get in there. Post. And if you follow me, I'll follow you back. You just message me and say, hey, Mike, it's me from the channel. My name on YouTube is this. This is me on Parler. And I'll follow you back. No problem. Because I want to see what you guys are posting. To give me some, I guess, a little bit of backup for what to post on Mike in the Night or Trends in the Housing Market. You guys could help me out like that too, so I could kind of see what you guys are trending out or what you guys believe should be exposed or discussed, right? And that's the most important thing. All right, so where's everybody at tonight? Trends in the housing market. If we don't have housing, we don't have an economy. How does that make you guys feel? Oh, Steve the Plumber sent me a link here. Let's see what it is.
I want to thank you.
Oh, yeah, it's this one. So, guys, we're going to be discussing this on Mike in the Night. Blunt News already did something about this early this week when it first came out. He was hot on the press. Blunt News and Sean Lieberman. So here it is.
First of all, for really zeroing in on the preloaded stimulus idea.
Yeah.
None of us have a crystal ball. But economists like Ben, like Doug, have been pointing out that some Canadian households, and it tends to be the better off households, do have quite a lot of money that they've saved because there hasn't been that much to do in the pandemic.
So what's happening is he's basically saying they need to find ways to take money off of people. So that's going to be on Mike in the Night, taking your money away. This is from Pierre Poilievre. This is not a fake. This guy is in the Canadian Conservative Party of Canada. So I'm going to see if I could get this guy on Mike in the Night. I don't know if it will look bad politically on him. Oh, he went on some talk show and talked about this, and then they're going to say, oh, this racist host and blah, blah, blah. That's what they do all the time, when they want to discredit somebody, right? So, I'm going to message him. I got his email. I'm just going to say, hey, do you want to come on Mike in the Night and unpack this for us and let us know what the heck is going on here? So, that's from Steve the Plum. Let me see if I could give him a call. I don't know if I don't think his Skype is even on, but we haven't talked to him in a long time on the channel. He's always getting me when I'm not getting him. His phone is ringing. I'm not sure if he's going to pick up. Yeah, he's not picking up. Poor guy. He's busy. He's working like 24/7. Last time I spoke to him. Who else do we got here? Who can we call? Man, we don't got too many people with their Skypes on tonight. Where's everybody at, man? Come on, where you guys? Prayers go to Evan. Evan, the McChronicle, lost his mom a few days ago. Prayers go to Evan. So, for everyone out there, Evan. Prayers out to him. Condolences to his loss. Man, I'm having a tough time finding anyone that's on right now. All right, let's head back to the comments. What's going on with you guys? Paper Tiger Perrier, says Alan Howick. Canada's going to hell. That's exactly where Canada's headed right now. They took away they've manipulated our education by defunding or defederalizing or federalizing student loans. They deregulated and then federalized student loans. They pumped up, you need a degree to make money, and took a lot of people to the cleaners. And you can't default on student loan debt in the States and America, Canada and the States. And then after they took our housing away, then they went ahead and started to raise the taxes and lower interest rates. So homeowners on paper become wealthy, or the well-to-dos become more wealthier, and the average wage earners, the blue-collar workers, end up having to dig the ditches. They're digging the ditches for themselves is what they're doing. I never thought I'd run a housing show for all these years. Morgan in the house. Morgan, we were talking about you earlier. On the show. We were actually talking about you earlier because we were discussing the United States of America, and we were discussing, I'm just trying to see right here, Valley housing market to remain one of the nation's hottest 2021 reports. This is in Phoenix. Surge in home sales, and there's going to be a massive surge in home sales. So I'm sticking to my guns that Middle America, this video I made on November 5th, 2020, where American housing to increase 40 to 100% in price, in Middle America, I'm sticking to my guns on that. It will. Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado. Well, Colorado is blue now, right? So all of the America is going to turn into Amerifornia. But don't worry. In 7 months from now, someone will create a new YouTube channel in 7 months, and they're going to be talking about exactly what I'm saying here. And they're going to get millions of subscribers, and they're going to look like the greatest heroes that ever existed. But we predict on this channel. We don't post-dict. Anyone could post-dict. And when someone's saying, hey, Mike, what do you like to post-dict on your channel because you're telling people you bought airline stock after it went up. No, let's go into my channel here. Look. Got into a huge email argument with someone. Here it is. I bought a ton of airline stock 5 months ago when everyone was buying gold. I was buying airline stock. I bought Air Canada at $14, sold it at 17 3-4 times. And then I bought Air Canada just before the ballots were counted, and it shot up 28% in 23% in one day, and I sold it at $21. I should have held it, but I didn't want to get greedy. But look, I bought airline stock 5 months ago when everyone was making fun of me. And then here it is. I bought it. I did well. Well, everyone was buying gold, and then watch this. When everyone was buying gold, I shorted gold again, and it was a melt up 4 months ago. But I shorted gold. Why? Because I followed the trend, and you'll be like, huh, this is what they want you to believe, and this is what they want you to think, right? And there's some gold tickers on the symbol there of the ones that I've shorted. So like it's all about, again, taking a risk. It's all about being at the right time at the right place. So Morgan Davies is saying, MC, it's not... Morgan, can you call us? Can you talk to us and tell us what's happening in Arizona? Please? You're in my favorites. Let me call you. See if Morgan picks up.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, I've been trying to reach you. You're a lot tougher to get than the president.
Yeah, sorry, I got into the video a little bit late today.
Hold on, your phone's going in and out, streaming in and out. Are you getting a good internet signal there?
It should be. I'm on my LTE cell phone service.
Okay. Yeah. I made a video back in November, early November, that I'm predicting that the middle part of America is going to go up 40 to 100% in housing prices. Am I out of my mind, or is this could be like true?
Oh, it's definitely true. I mean, if you just look at how fast things have gone in the last 10 years, and then if you count exponential growth into it, it's like there was a trickle of people, well, not a trickle, but people have been leaving the West Coast for a long time. By a long time, I mean the last 10, 15 years. But it's starting to pick up now to the point where it's like exponential. Forests in California are burning. The laws over there are insane. Not just California, but and that's just pushing housing values up places where I live. It's like the values of the housing around here are not recognizable even remotely to what they were 10 years ago.
So you started seeing this pattern, 3 years ago, where it started to get out of control? About 3-4 years ago?
Oh, yeah, big time 3 or 4 years ago. Because 5 or 6 years ago, I wouldn't have thought much of it.
Are they busing in more homeless from California into Arizona?
Mike, I should take some videos for you, because where I live, there was like one homeless dude in the entire town. And it was because he had a mental problem. Mm-hmm. But now there's like hundreds of them. And this is all within the last few years. They're on every single street corner, panhandling. They're everywhere. Every in the nice areas and the poor areas. And the poor areas is even worse.
We just spoke over to what's his face there, Craig Cook over in New Zealand, and he's telling me the same thing is happening there, where housing affordability is completely out of reach. So the house you live in right now, I don't even have to see your home, okay? I don't even have to see it, okay, Morgan? Do you know how much your home is in let's say Auckland, New Zealand, or one of the bigger cities? Not the biggest city, but some of the bigger cities. Do you know what your home is worth? Probably $2 million there.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah,
so
it's probably, we're still lucky here because the home we live in, it's a townhouse, but it's costs like $300,000. But even then, that's like expensive compared to what it used to be here. So
right. Realistically, what do you think that a house is worth? $175?
Yeah, maybe, if that. $150.
$150
would be fair. And it's not. It's nice, but just because if you live like somewhere like Washington, out in British Columbia. It's like the value of the money is worth significantly different. It's a different worth of the money.
You're talking about buying power.
Right. Yeah.
Buying power.
Except for,
so let's say $1 million in the city of Vancouver. $1 million, I can't buy a pot to pee in. I can't even buy a tear down home. But
I saw that. I saw
$1 million in Miami Beach, in Florida. Okay, that's 700,000 US converted from Canadian money. I could buy Shaquille O'Neal's house.
Right.
So buying power, it bang for your buck. You guys in Middle America, I think you guys are going to start to see. I think that America is going to turn into Amerifornia.
Well, and that's the thing too. Is like in California, it's like everybody's got prevailing wages. They've got forced unions. They've got this and that where they can make, they can make enough money to live there in some circumstances from working just a normal job. But that's because the government's manipulating things. But they don't have that kind of manipulation in these other states, in the middle states. So these people, they're coming over here, and it's like we don't have like government Mickey Mouse manipulation to make it so that we can afford to live here. It's like our wages are going to stay the same, but the value of our money is going to become worth less.
Man, wow, and that's again. So
and that just motivates people to vote for more left-leaning policies, which those don't. I mean, Arizona's a blue state now. I mean, we talked about it last time. It's like it never was before, but now with just that small percentage of people from California moving, it's changing everything. The whole country's going to look different.
So it looks like they're gonna change the state name of Missouri to Missourifornia, and there's gonna be Texifornia. Do you remember that episode of South Park when the Jersey Shore people were coming across?
Yeah.
That's exactly what's happening.
Yeah. Or that one with the homeless people. I don't know if you saw that
one. The homeless people that came over from California and they were busting into South Park, and they were freaking out like, where are all these people coming? They were asking for change.
Yeah,
and it became like The Walking Dead.
Yes. I was just thinking too, and my neighbors call me heartless because I posted on the Nextdoor app, and I said, well, they're asking, well, what do we do about all the homeless that are coming in? They're everywhere now. It's like, I'm like, well, we can donate some money and bus them to somewhere where they have free resources like California. It's inhumane to keep them here in the heat.
That's true.
Take them to California. Let's bus them to California. That's where they came from.
Can I tell you a small story?
Sure.
2 summers ago, I was in my store, and it was a nice day. I had my door open. Some guy walked into my store barefoot. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, oh, man, I was dropped off here in a taxi. I'm like, okay. Did you want me to call somebody to pick you up? You don't have shoes. He's like, oh, no, I just got discharged from the hospital in downtown Vancouver, and he showed me the bracelet from the hospital. And they paid a taxi to drop me off here. 2.5 hours outside of the city, this guy was dropped off in this small town. And I'm like, do you have family here? He's like, I don't even know where I am. So the guy had no idea where he was. He goes, he was passed out in the back of the taxi for 2 hours, right? So
holy crap.
So he had no idea where he was. I'm like, you're in Merritt. He's like, where is that in America? Like, where did he bring me? I go, no, you're in Canada still, but you're east of you're in the Rockies. You're like you're in the mountains. He's like, oh, do you know anybody here? No. He's like, I got a friend in Toronto. I'm like, yeah, that's like 4,000 miles. Okay, so basically, he had to go to the shelter, and then he's in town now. He's living in town. I see him like walking around and walking the streets with shopping carts, and he's living here now. He was dropped off here from the hospital.
That is hilarious. That taxi ride, if it had anything to do with the hospital here in America, it would have probably costed him $10,000 to get that ride.
But how much do you think that the city saved by getting him out of the city?
I mean, they must have been saving more than what the taxi ride was worth.
Well, because if he's in the hospital or he's not feeling well, and they have to check him in and this and that, and right. We have socialized medicine, it's putting a burden on our healthcare system, right? But
so now your local doctor in Merritt has to
Right. So I don't understand. Like, I'm not understanding how this is working, but they're going to be shuttling a lot of people around and then shoveling people around. And, you got for every one homeless person, you have 4 empty vacant units in California.
Wow.
We covered it on the show.
It kind of reminds me a little bit. There's this Netflix documentary called Wild Wild Country about this cult from India that wound up leaving India because they were illegal in India because they were a cult, and they moved to Oregon of all places, and went out into the middle of like nowhere in Oregon, and they got into a fight with the state of Oregon, and they were trying to change the votes in Oregon, so they bussed in a whole bunch of homeless people. They just drove around the country with buses and started picking homeless people up and bringing them to Oregon, to this little community in the desert. That's kind of what it seems like. I mean,
is the community like that movie, the Village?
No, it's more of like a hippie, like communist commune, and it's a good documentary. It's bizarre. I mean,
what's it called again?
Wild Wild Country.
Let me write that down.
It's on Netflix, and it's about what do they call them in India? Not the shaman, the guru. The guru.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a guru, and he basically is trying to enlighten everybody, and he's like this leader of this cult, and then he puts his roots in Oregon, and then just starts brainwashing all these Oregonians, and it became a big deal because they wound up like, I mean, you have to watch it. I don't want to spoil anything for you, but it actually happened, and they got all this footage and stuff they have on the documentary is all people that like lived through it, and they, it's all footage from the actual events that happened. But there was a point where there was upwards of 80,000 people, just members of this cult, that were just completely invaded this town in Oregon, and completely like decimated this town, and started doing some horrible things. But yeah, it's well worth a watch. It's pretty good.
So Morgan, what are you going to do? Are you going to head further east to Texas if housing becomes more and more unaffordable, or if you could get a pretty mint for your house, and maybe get out to Texas somewhere? Are you going to go further east, or what are you going to do?
I don't know, because they're compromised too. So it's like, I mean, there's places to go, but it's like, where are you going to, where can I go where the same thing's not going to happen? Like, am I going to go to Idaho? I mean, Idaho's already, Boise's.
Yeah, you got to stay south. You got to stay where it's warm in case you do have to spend more time outdoors. Like maybe I would say like Tampa. I would actually go to Sarasota, Tampa area.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad idea. I was just looking at I mean, I know it gets hot and humid over there, but it doesn't get all that hot like it does here.
I would honestly look at the Tampa area right now if you could get in at the right time, or I don't know. I wish I was stateside sometimes. I wish I could live in the States, but it's just very, very tough for Canadians, or a European or Canadian citizen, to just get in. I did all my paperwork. I told you I did all my paperwork, and it was very tough to get into that country.
Yeah. Well, I think another thing to think about too is like I've been thinking about it, it's like a lot of people are going up north, but I have a feeling like that grand solar minimum they've been talking about, there's some pretty good evidence to support that it might start getting much colder up there.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know for sure, right?
Well,
I mean,
then you got the earthquakes in California, huh? You got all kinds, man.
Yeah.
Didn't you got a Yosemite National Park? What is that? That geyser over there?
Oh, that's Yellowstone.
Yellowstone, yeah. You got all kinds of unpredictable.
Natural.
I think you need to get Greta Thunberg. You gotta get her on speed dial and get her to fix these problems.
Well, man, I don't know. They already ruined her life. As she said, they already ruined her life by manipulating her into thinking that her world's gonna end. But she's like, a rich white girl that lives in Sweden or whatever. But they ruined her life, Mike. I mean, I don't want to bother her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
or with somebody with some sort of authority on whatchamacallit, somebody with some sort of authority on climate change or something, right? That could come up and talk to maybe Al Gore.
Maybe the bartender from New York. Bartender from New York. How does that sound?
Oh, occasional cortex. I know what you're throwing at me. I know exactly what you're throwing at me.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, these people can't. They can't even function in their personal lives, but they,
Oh, it's like
think that-
watching The View. You ever watch The View with Whoopi Goldberg and all those people? They tell average Americans how to live their lives and how they should be living their lives with with different financial backgrounds. With these people that make multi-million dollars and all these talk shows and stuff, they're telling other Americans that are at the poverty line what they should be doing with their lives.
Yeah, and lecturing them. It's like, some people they're so out of touch with reality. It's like some people can barely even scrape by, and they're like, oh, we got to go tax and regulate their minivan. They're gonna have to go to California. You got to be electric vehicle by 2035. You can't have gas vehicle. It's like there's people who they're so out of touch with reality. It's like they think that everybody's some snobby aristocrat like they are. It's like and it's like they, the other countries too. It's like they don't care about the other countries polluting, but it's like they're not at all concerned with, these countries like China where we're like Mr. Clean compared to these countries, and they still want to regulate us. It doesn't hurt. What we're doing to the environment is minuscule compared to what these other countries are doing, but they still want to regulate us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's tyranny. They do what they want, and if we do what they do, we end up in jail. That's just how it works.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That's just how it works. You do what they do, we're sharing a prison cell together. But they do what they do, it's okay because it's them, right?
Yeah.
So. All right, Morgan, I'm going to let you go, buddy. It's been an excellent 15 minutes talking to you and catching up on what's going on. Make some videos for us. I'll play them. Just put them here on the Skype, and I'll play them. And show us some of the homeless issues that you guys are facing there. Show us, like, some of the empty, vacant areas, maybe empty homes and stuff, and kind of maybe give us a little tour of maybe your downtown core there.
We'll do. Yeah, we'll do, Mike.
All right, Morgan. God bless. We'll talk soon, okay?
God bless.
Okay, bye. That is Morgan out of Arizona giving us an update on what the heck is going on down there. Affordability is out of control. Out of control. And, the average wage worker's done now. They're going after the high wage earners now. High wage earners now are on the chopping block. We don't even exist anymore. We're so tapped out. We are so indebted. We are so broken. That they don't want us. They don't care about us. They're after now the wealthy, and that's why that video came up, basically about asking the people on how can we get money from the average people that have money to help stimulate the economy. No, Mataski is saying Globe and Mail came out with an article about foreign ownership registry coming to BC. It's not going to make any difference. Someone in the comments is saying foreign ownership registry. It won't make a difference. We already tried, like they've tried it and tried, tested, and true. They've already tried it. They tried many things, and trying to see if I can find some good. One thing we need to talk about on the channel. One thing we need to talk about is the Strata. What's happening with Strata and insuring some of these condos? Insurance companies don't want to touch any of these condos because the price of the condo is too high. They're faulty. They're made in a rush. Who the heck is going to want to insure these companies? So we're going to do a follow-up on that. It's been a year since we talked about that. But let's see if we could find tax. Guys, watch out. You're going to start getting taxed on your equity. We covered that a month ago because that's something in the works right now. So wow, there's lots of videos on this channel. Lots of videos. Yep, and that's what's happening, folks. We are headed towards this. Let me see if I could find what I'm looking for. Wow, lots of good videos I have up here, but none of them are getting views. Okay, so again, let's go back to basics here, to the article. So it starts here from 4 years ago. 15% tax on foreign buyers, Vancouver homes, Vancouver housing crash. Okay, there it is right there. And then I follow up the video from 3 years, so from 4 years to 3 years. Home prices data gone, foreign buyers tax is working. So it says something fishy is going on. Hallelujah, the tax works. The verdict is in. The BC foreign buyers tax really did pull down Vancouver home prices. And then from 2 years ago, ready to scrap foreign buyers, ready to scrap, where is it? So they're ready to scrap it. Where'd it go? Because it's working. I just saw that, abolishing, from 3 years ago, abolishing the foreign buyers tax because it's working. So they had it, it worked, prices dropped too much, average people could get back in the markets. They didn't want that, so they had to get rid of the. So it lasted less than a year when it was in place properly. Then they allowed them to find loopholes and go around it and do what they felt like they wanted to do, right? So it's kind of funny that if I try to pull something like this, I'd be like, again, sitting in a jail cell somewhere. Who knows, man? CV saying, my coworker is going to pretend that she rents a Chinese lady's penthouse when she goes back to China to avoid the empty tax. She's getting paid to do it. Oh, yeah. Of course. It's kind of funny that a doctor or a high-wage earner in Canada can't afford to buy a penthouse themselves. It's kind of funny, eh? How the cookie crumbles, right? Jem Rose is saying, when things get this bad in a nation, drastic measures needed to be taken swiftly. We are way beyond swiftly, even beyond slow motion. That's true. CJ is saying no one's going to buy a house now because you won't own anything and you'll be happy. CJ always says that in the comments, and it's true. It's very true what he's saying there. Layla, someone saying a lot of gold supporters are buying Bitcoin now. See, Low Roller Scratcher is our Bitcoin enthusiast there in the comments. You'll find him in there. Alan is saying every knucklehead here likes gold and silver. I'm a knucklehead. Guys, I invest in gold and silver too. Physical, right? So Maria Gee is bringing some good news to the chat here. Facebook sued for being a monopoly. Good. Good. Anna Key, all the young people I know are living with their parents or have money from their deceased grandmothers, etc. CJ is asking, Mike, what do you think of the Point Roberts situation? They're thinking if Canada bought them the piece. Oh, if Canada bought them, the price of their houses will be more than triple. Yeah, Point Roberts is along the... It's a bizarre piece of land that when the border was put in place, I think it's during Andrew Jackson. Where is that? What did he say there? Point Roberts, right? Yeah, Point Roberts. So there it is. This is what Point Roberts looked like. I'm going to show you guys. It's in a really bizarre place. Let me go to article scan here. So this is what it looks like here. So you get this little piece of bottom island. Let me see if I could expand this. So you guys, there it is. So right here. So if you look at the Canadian border here, okay, and then you look at the American border, this little piece of land right here, right there, belongs to the United States. And you actually need to go through customs to go, like if you're in Canada, you need to go through customs to get across the border. And people used to go across the border to ship things. So a lot of people from all of this part here would go to Point Roberts and ship their items that they're shipping to through the United States, so they could get cheaper shipping. Because if you ship from Canada to the US, it's going to be more money than what you're shipping. So what's happening here is if Canada buys up this little piece of land here, the houses will go up triple, quadruple in price pretty much overnight, right? Because you'll get a lot of, again, people with a lot of deep pockets, not Canadians, but people with deep pockets will go in there and buy up those properties, right? So that's what's happening right now. So that's another discussion that they're having of, it's been on the back burner for years, but it's something they're talking about. So everyone's in the comments here. I like how everyone's talking to each other. I told you guys earlier, I went to another channel. I was watching this live stream, and they were talking more about biblical economics, like economics through a biblical point of view. No one was talking to each other in the comments. No one was asking questions. It was just weird discussion. It was nothing going on. There was no talk. And then I go to the really popular channels, and I find that the chat is too fast. You can't even see the chat. But, guys, in 7 months, there will be a YouTube channel that will come up, and that will be discussing what I'm talking about on this channel. But they'll be bringing it in a way where it's post-dicting it and not actually predicting anything, and just post-dicting everything. They'll get millions of subscribers, and they will be the heroes of YouTube, and the whole world will look at them like the greatest thing. And that's where YouTube's headed too. My channel is on a downward spiral. It's been locked down at 13,100 subs. I was at 12,100 subscribers for 2.5 years, and now they're going to put me back at 13,100 for 2. They open me up for a week or two, the channel takes off. Then they close it back down, and it doesn't move. I don't gain or lose subscribers. It just sits flat for a couple of years. Then someone over at YouTube says, who is this guy? He's got like 5,000 videos. Why the hell is he locked down for? Ooh, he's Catholic. Ooh, he's male. Ooh, he's white. Ooh, that's no good. That's all anti-YouTube right there. Crazy Shredder saying food will be the new gold, not crypto. That's true. Yeah, that's a good question. Where is Metal Gear Mark III? Amy Burr's into biblical commerce law. Yeah, Jem Rose is saying developing a policy to protect the working poor and working class is not our government's problem. That's correct. If we rewrite the Constitution, I would put a clause in there that foreigners can never own land or property in Canada, period. And they could lease it like Mexico. We'll do exactly what Mexico does. Exactly what Mexico does. Oh, you're a racist. Well, no, Mexico's doing it. So we'll just follow the Mexican rules on what Mexico does when it comes to foreigners buying property there. And that's it. We're done. No questions asked. No more debates. No more locals getting... Imagine Mexico opened up to foreign investing and people were piling their money in there. Imagine how the crisis in Mexico and be pushing up more people north to America to try and get a better life. Holy crap. Someone saying that our money is being tracked. Hey, man, you know what? It probably is. I wouldn't doubt that. Yeah, Jem Rose saying if it's good enough for Mexico, it's good enough for Canada. The question is Australia going to exist in 20 years? Is Canada going to exist in 20 years? Will it exist by name? Just by name? Man, I thought America was gonna. I didn't know, like, looking at America, it's gonna become Amerifornia now, and it's scary when you look at Amerifornia. I don't even want to go there now if it turns into Amerifornia. Yeah, your money is tracked, your phone is tracked. Just reading the comments here, guys. And, yeah, it's kind of good that Blunt News is got their, I think Blunt News is on Parler, too. I'm following him, too. Guys, get on Parler, please. I'm going to keep bugging you guys because it was like Facebook was back in the day. There it is right there, Parler. There's my Parler. There it is. Guys, be part of it. Look, I post my channel. Look, I even get views on my stuff. I'm on Facebook with 115,000 followers and like 3 people see my stuff. That's just how it works. All kinds, man. Look at Blunt News right here. This is the one I want you guys to watch right here. Blunt News live. Here it is, guys. Let me go to his, it's his D Live. Let me copy it here and post it for you guys if you guys want to watch this after this show here. This is a really good discussion piece he has here with Sean. Really good. So I invite you guys to check this out and kind of see what they're talking about here because it's kind of important.
This is expected by the powers that ought not to be. This is expected and utilized and weaponized. So, like you look at politicians, for example.
So there it is, guys. If you guys want to pick that up, I just sent you the link to that. Check it out. Don't forget to follow them. Blunt News. They're all on. So they actually parlayed it on Parler, so you guys could see them. And get on Parler. Follow us. All of us are on here. All you have to do is send me a message and tell me you're on the show. And everybody is on here. Oh, Blunt News says the replay only stays for 3 days, Mike. Oh. Ooh, that's not good. Laurel Scratcher says Mike Martins was mining Bitcoin 10 years ago. I was. I would shut down my store at night, and I had like 18 computers there. I would get them all mining Bitcoin. Yes, Linny Poo says, I watched it because Mike sent out a notice on Parler. Great discussion, yes. Yes, Blunt is on D Live if you guys need to check him out. So Alan Howick, MC, Mitch Madden, Gigi, Layla, who else? Anna Key's on here. So we're getting everybody like assembled here so that we could but when you go on the Parler, like you go on the news feed, man, there's all kinds of stuff you'll never see on Facebook. Hunter Biden, criminal probe. I can't even talk about this on this channel. Historic moment. Ooh. Canadian Health Ministry exploring immunity passports. We'll be talking about that on 2 weeks in Mike in the Night. COVID passports. There's all kinds of stuff on here, man. Real good stuff. You guys should check it out. Get on there. Be part of it. And see what people are talking about or where. Let me check this out. Gretzky rookie going for $1 million. 1916 Babe Ruth card. I mean, I have two or maybe 3 Gretzky rookies. I don't think they're worth that. They're graded, too. I don't think they're worth that much, though. I don't understand why this is reaching $1 million. It makes no sense. I have the same card in better condition than this. It's not worth $1 million. There's so many of them out there. There's a lot of them out there. Now I'm very interested now. Wayne Gretzky rookie, 710, $1,200, 690, $900. This guy wants $4,800, $540. So why is it fetching $1 million? It makes no sense. Second year, 700. There's so many of them. I mean, how many pages of these do you want? They go on forever and ever. There's, I don't know how many, 36,000 matches. Why is it going for $1 million? It makes no sense. So anyways, guys, someone's asking if I have a 10. I think mine's an 8. Graded card, 8. Covey passport will be the tattoo on the skin seen under the fingerprint light, infrared light. That's right. No, she's right. Linny Pooh's right about that. So, Aniki saying, no Covey passport for me. Sorry, Mike, I won't be visiting anytime soon. Yeah, a lot of people aren't going to be traveling as much as they should, and that's... Yeah. That's the issue. Okay, guys, we're wrapping up the second hour. Winding down the show, guys. I appreciate everybody coming on and being part of the show. Trends in the housing market, never a dull moment. We could talk about housing until the day we die, because it's... how are they going to restructure our economy if we can't get back, if locals can't get into the housing market? If people born and raised in their own country and work and do their thing, how are they going to restructure the economy? Because our entire economy is built off housing, but we can't afford our own housing. So Amy's saying, I'm writing up a conditional acceptance for all entities that would require a Covey passport. Oh, Steve is just rolling in right now. Woo! Yeah, it's working late, working a lot. See, Steve, try and call me tomorrow while I'm at the shop. I don't have much going on tomorrow, so maybe if you want to come call me and let me know what you're up to. I keep missing your calls. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Layla, Alan, CJ, Mitch Madden, Peter. We're going to get Mitch on next week. Hopefully, we can get Steve on next week if he's not busy. Amy Burr, John Ming, Steve the Plumber, Ellen Howick, Lenny Pooh, BC in the Matrix. Everybody, Bob Smithers, IDK777. Everybody for being on the show tonight. Trends in the housing market, never a dull moment. Thanks for everybody that called in and that's been part of the show. I really appreciate it. Remember, guys, take care and stay safe. And if you can't stay safe, please